So on March 15th, I received the following letter from a request that I made on January the 17th. And what I was asking for was a bunch of information about the you-know-what. And we see here that people basically received their third dose, starting in October. So there were a few, 1,000, 2,000s, whatever. But then it really ramped up in December. So just keep that in mind. December. So these are by week, and so we have like 36,000 doses, 27,000 doses that week, 25,000 doses, then 57,000 doses in January, first week in January, second week in January, 89,484 doses. Wow. Then I had to do another FOIPOP just to catch up on what was going on with these injections. So in January 2022, I did it by month this time, there were 302,000 third doses. And there were, in February, there were 65,000, in March, 10,000, and in April, 28,335. So just keep that in the back of your mind of the number of doses and when they really ramped up, which was basically December 2021 and January, heading into January of 2022. So then I did this Freedom of Information request to the Nova Scotia Health, and it was made on November the 17th, 2021. And what it is the number of hospitalizations and the percentage of those COVID hospitalizations. So I did this in a little video before, but we'll just quickly take you through. So we have, for example, Aberdeen Hospital has 69 beds, and we can go through the month of 2020 and we can see like 0, less than 5, 2021, 0, less than 5, etc. Annapolis has four beds, and we can see a bunch of zeros for 2020, 2021, a bunch of zeros. Cape Breton, come on baby, come on, there we go. Cape Breton Regional Hospital, 188 beds, and we can see a bunch of zeros and less than 5s for 2020, and the ones that I can add up are 11, and the ones for 2021 is 30 for 2021. And if we keep going, I just want to do it kind of quickly here. 101 beds, Colchester East, zeros and less than -5. Cumberland, 32 beds. We see a bunch of zeros and less than 5. Dartmouth General has 152 beds, and we have zeros and some 10s and 14s. In 2020, there it was 55 that I can add up. In 2021, 36, and Digby General Hospital has 20 beds and basically 0. I'm not going to take you too much detail here, but we can see a lot of zeros. So there's a bunch of hospitals at the top, and their number of beds, and a lot of zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Less than 5s and lots of zeros. Lillian Fraser, 10 beds, less than 5s and zeros. Muscatawbie Valley, 6 beds, loads of zeros. And New Waterford, North Cumberland, and North Side General Hospital. Just to zoom out here, we've got loads of zeros. So nothing, like we're in a pandemic, and there's people thinking about, something that might help. And but we have hardly anybody basically in hospital. This one here is the QE2, so they have 658 beds. The QE2, the VG, and the Halifax Infirmary, so 19, 17, 22. So total in 2020 they have 168. Total in 2021 they have 491. The thing is, we don't know if they went in with specifically COVID, that I don't feel exists, or whether they went into hospital for other things and tested positive for COVID. So some of these are, that's what you call incidental hospitalizations. So 491. Queens, lots of zeros. Roseway Hospital, lots of zeros. Sacred Heart, 0. Soldiers Memorial, zeros. South Shore Regional, 73 beds, zeros and less than 5, zeros and less than 5. St. Martha's Regional Hospital, zeros and less than 5, zeros and less than 5s. This one here too is a bunch of hospitals. St. Mary's Memorial, Straight Richmond, Twin Oaks, and Valley Regional. Basically a bunch of zeros, as you can see, and less than 5s. So you get the general gist. Victoria County Memorials, 12 beds and zeros. And Yarmouth Regional, bunch of zeros and less than 5s. Okay, so this is the new Freedom of Information that I just received. And I'm going to see if I can coordinate this with the other book that we have here. All right. Aberdeen Hospital in 2020, it's a bunch of zeros and less than 5s. In 2021, bunch of zeros and less than 5s. In 2022, up until October, 322. Okay, I'm going to do Cape Breton Regional next. In 2020, 11. In 2021, around 30. Cape Breton Regional, 772. Let's do Colchester East. Colchester East. So Colchester East in 2020 was around 5. 2021 was around 37. Colchester East, 461. Cumberland was 171. Cumberland before was a bunch of zeros and less than 5s, zeros and less than 5s, and then ends up being 171. Okay, Dartmouth General, we said around 55 in 2020 and 36 in 2021, and Dartmouth General has 444 from January to October. Digby General Hospital, zeros and zeros. Digby is 82. Glace Bay was zeros and minus 5s, added up to a little bit of nothing. And in 2022, we have 132. Hants Community Hospital, 76. Hants Community was basically 0 and 0 the last 2 years prior. Hants Community Inverness, 32 beds, zeros and less than 5. And Inverness now, in this year, had 84. New Waterford had 69. New Waterford, and we can see New Waterford had basically zeros in the previous 2 years. North Side, let's see. Let's see what we can do. Let's do so North Side. I'll just say that went up to 90, and the QE2. Let's do the QE2. So the QE2 has 658 beds, and in 2020 it had 168, In 2021, they claimed that they had 491, and the QE2 from January to October had 1,763. So we can see a substantial increase. We're going from like 19, 17, 22, 20, 12, 14, etc. 200 was in May and it was only still 10% of the hospitalizations, right? But now what we're seeing is over 200 for 200, 188, few over 200. So it's taking up like between 9 and 11%, 5% of the total hospitalizations. We can see this the whole way along, that there's been a great increase in the numbers, going from basically nothing to these numbers. And here we are in 2022 with 85% of our people with 2 injections, and Dr. Strang saying that it's going to keep people out of hospital. Well, according to this, in 2020 and 2021, 2020 when we had no vaccine, no jebby, there was hardly any hospitalizations. 2022, yes, we started to see an increase, but we also had this little thing come out. So now, with all of these people, we are seeing a substantial number. Now, people could say, oh, this is because of the masks, but the masks came out in March. Oh, they refused, or they lifted everything. We are seeing an increase back in December, when I took you back here, and the number, January, etc., there was a substantial increase in this third dose. Just want to bring that to your attention. Please share, be aware, and care about each other. Don't get the J.